This is the Polestar one. Now, is it like the iPhone 12 Max in the way that it's super slick, easy to use, and very, very fast? Or is it more like the original iPod where it's big, clunky, heavy, and overpriced? To find out, I'm going to show you around some of this car's features. I'm going to try and drift it in the snow, and I'm going to launch it to see how quick it is from 0 to 60 miles an hour. Now, if you haven't done so already, please make sure you subscribe to this channel because it's very, very good, if I do say so myself. And hit the bell icon so you're notified whenever we make a new upload. Anyway, I'm Matt Watson, and you're watching Carwow.
Buying a new car? Then head to Carwow, and my team will help you find your next car at a fair price. Carwow, your one-stop car buying comparison site.
We need to talk about the price, because that's the thing with the Polestar one. Let's ask cameraman Lewis how much he thinks this costs. So, Lewis, what do you reckon this costs?
60 grand.
No, it's more, mate.
80?
More.
No, it can't be over 100.
It costs £139,000. It's a lot of money, isn't it? Now, if you want to make sure that you're paying a fair price and you're not surprised by the price of a car like Lewis was, then you want to head to Carwow. You can check out all the latest car deals there. Look at that. There we go. Now, put a little pop-out banner just up there. It should be in the top right-hand corner of the screen. If you click on that, you can go there, check out the deals right now. If you want to do it later, just simply Google "Help Me Carwow," and my team and I will help you choose the right car for you and get it for a fair price from one of our trusted dealers. Let's talk about the design, because that is what this Polestar one is all about and the main reason to have it. The back is probably the least successful part. I mean, it's fairly nice with the light design, and you've got diffuser there, it's carbon fibre, and look! Exhaust pipes that are real, as I'll illustrate with the Carwow stick of truth. Thank God for that. My only problem with the rear is that this large rear deck sort of reminds me of the back ends of those folding metal roof cars. You know, they're a bit bulbous at the back, like the old C70. Yeah, you can't unsee that now. Let's move down the side, because this is where it gets really, oh, it's so sexy, I love it. Beautiful design down the side. Sorry about that, people, by the way. Really, really nice, swoopy roofline, wide haunches, 21-inch alloys, which look great. I like the side of this car. The chrome really lifts it as well. Beautiful. Not sure about this though. This sticker here. Is that supposed to come off? Is it? Looks like it should, but I actually think that it's not intended to come off. Anyway, look at these big gold brake calipers. They look cool. So have a look at the front. You can see that it's a Volvo just by the front design. Sorry, it's a Polestar, but it's done by the guys from Volvo. You've got Thor hammer headlamps as well that you get on Volvos. Not complaining though, looks great from the front. Really, really nice looking car. Let's check out the inside. Oh, I can't do it here. It's a left-hand drive car. We've got to go round. Sorry about this. Professional as ever. Right, the inside. It is rather Volvo-like, but that's not a problem. What is a problem though is this silly coat. I'm gonna have to take this off. Oh, it's gonna be a faff. Because while the interior design may be Volvo-ish, it hasn't got Volvo-like space. Bear with me.
A few moments later.
So, it's like a Volvo, but it's nice. It's very nice. I like it. Quality is good. Leather everywhere. Feels expensive. Leather even down here. All leather out. Can't tell if it's real or fake leather. Who cares? It's nice. In terms of quality, I think it's not quite as nice as a Bentley. Getting close to a Porsche, and probably more solid than an Aston Martin. The layout is good. It's easy to operate everything. Your stereo controls there. Most of your functions are done through this touchscreen, which is very close here. You sit low so it feels sporty, and you've got a high dash. That makes it feel sporty as well. And these chairs, oh God, I could just like luxuriate in them. The lovely Polestar do awesome seats. There's some decent practicality as well. So look at this, door bins. They can take my flask of tea, which is essential on a day like today. We've got cup holders under here where I can put my non-alcoholic beer. Yeah. Under here though, there's no space. All the batteries are under here. You've got your USB ports there, so you can connect your phone and your 12 volt as well, and some area for coins. In here, there's a reasonable size glove box, and it is lined with felt so things don't rattle around in there. Let's talk about the infotainment system. Come on, turn on. So I like that, the way you turn the car on with this little knobby that you rotate. I also like this. Oh, we have a glass gear selector. You got Volvo's infotainment system, which when it first came out was good, but it's feeling a bit old now. It's easy to use. Some of the icons are small though, and if you use Android Auto on it, you only get a small part of the screen. It's a bit like watching a YouTube video when you're in portrait mode. The digital driver's display, that's clear, gives you all the information you need. I'm fine with that. You also get a heads-up display as well. Best thing though about this car, this glass roof is absolutely gorgeous. I love it. Nice interior. Anyone who says, oh, it's like a Volvo, who cares? It's nice. Oh, there's even carbon fibre bits. Anyway, let's check out the back seats because it is a 2+2 coupe. This could be interesting. Oh, can't remember when it's stuck. Right, so undo this, right, press this. You might have noticed I've got this tripwire as well that I've got to navigate. Okay, I've done it. Bring it back. I've got to keep my finger on it by the looks of it. Anyway, ow. I think you can see the problem. That's dangerous. I don't think you can go in the back of this car if you're an adult. I really don't. Maybe if you're a small child you'll be all right, but adult, I wouldn't want to do that. Don't like that at all. It's a bit of a shame because actually the knee room isn't atrocious. It's not. It's better than in a Porsche 911, but that is not good at all. You do have Isofix anchor points there, so if you need to take some babies in the back, you can do. I'd rather have babes in the back. I didn't really say that. Hopefully the editor will take it out. Anyway, you've got 12-volt socket there. Shame there's no USB ports though in the back. Oh, I like this. It's nice. Shiny bits. Anyway, let's get out of here. Won't want to go very far in the back of this. Right. Let's just cut to the boot because this is dull as hell. I thought I'd put my coat back on while we're at it so I don't freeze out here. Anyway, boot. So it's a bit annoying that you can only either open it on the key or a button inside of the car. There's no release, I don't think. Well, I haven't found one here at the back. So the boot has a capacity of 143 litres and I've put a moderate size rucksack in there, some random box in there, and that's it pretty much full because you're going to want to carry your charging cables here, which are in a posh bag, but they do take up room. Not much space at all. Saving grace is look at this! This is cool, isn't it? You know how Ferraris like show off the engines in the engine bay? Well, this Polestar is showing off its electrical cables in the boot. It's not as good as a V8. It's electricity. Anyway, the boot, it's nicely lined, but that's about it. If you want to go grand touring and you want to take quite a bit of luggage with you to the south of France, you're not going to be able to fit much in there, are you? You're going to be better off with a Bentley Continental GT because its boot capacity is around 360 litres. Now, if you want to check out my review of that car, put a little link just up there, popping out now. If you can't see it, there's a link below the video. Anyway, click on those to watch the videos. And that brings me on to 5 annoying things about the Polestar 1. This is the Polestar 1's key. It's so cheap and nasty. It looks like it's come out of a cracker. This is not the key of a car that costs £140,000. It's not even the key that you'd expect to find on a car that costs £40,000. It's very snug in here, and the centre console is very close and very hard. And when you're manoeuvring and turning the wheel around like that lots, you can sometimes bang your elbow off it and it hurts. I'm going to give you a quick reenactment as to what happened to me earlier. You ready? Oh, you When you're manoeuvring at low speeds, the brakes make a weird creaking sound like this. It's not good. The reversing camera is positioned really low down and close to the road, which means it soon gets covered in grime, especially in conditions like this. And it doesn't have one of those features like you even find on something like a Nissan Juke, where it'll have a little jet wash to clean it off, which means that most of the time it's useless, or you have to keep getting out to clean it by hand and then get back in and carry on parking. If you buy this car, you're going to have this sort of conversation with your friends. Hey, do you like my new car? Yeah, it looks really cool. What is it? It's a Polestar 1. A Polestar? What's that? It's a Volvo that's made by the Chinese and it's a hybrid. Oh, a Chinese Volvo. Does that mean it's cheap? Actually, it was £140,000. 140 grand! You know, for that kind of money, you could have had an Aston Martin DB9, a Bentley Continental GT, or pretty much a Porsche 911 Turbo S, don't you? Anyway, what's it called again? Off. It's not all negative though. Here's 5 good things about this car. There's loads of carbon fibre used throughout this car, such as this member here in the boot. In fact, all the body panels are made out of carbon, and that saves 230 kilos over making them out of steel. Polestar says this car will do 470 miles per gallon and it emits just 13 grams per kilometre of carbon dioxide. Obviously that does rely on you plugging it in regularly, and most people probably won't, and I didn't. I actually ran this car without plugging it in at all, yet I still managed 37 miles per gallon, which is actually all right. And you can drive for quite a long while at that because it has a 60-litre fuel tank. Not many cars these days are that rare and built in really limited numbers, but this sort of is. Only 1,500 Polestar 1s will ever be built. So it could be collectible one day. This Polestar 1 is undoubtedly expensive, but if you can convince your company to buy you one as a company car, you'll pay very little in benefit in kind tax on it, because it's a hybrid and its emissions are so low. So actually, you'll end up paying just £2,223 BIK tax on it. By comparison, a Kia C diesel, an entry-level version, the BIK on that would be £2,547 a year. So that way, it's a bargain. Unlike Porsche and Bentley, Polestar won't try and rinse you out with the options, because this car comes fully loaded with kit. For instance, you get things like a Bowers & Wilkins stereo as standard. Sounds epic. You get automated cruise control with lane keeping assist. In fact, there's only one option available on this car, and it's matte paint, and that's £4.5 grand. Now let's talk about the hybrid tech on this car. So it has a 34 kilowatt hour battery pack, which is pretty large for a plug-in hybrid, though that does add to the weight. It means this car weighs over 2.3 tonnes. Still, you get 77 miles of electric only driving capability. Apparently, you probably won't get that in reality. But still, that's the biggest of any plug-in hybrid, and it can actually drive on electric power alone at speeds of up to 99 miles an hour. Why can't they just get that extra 1 miles an hour to tick that 3-digit box? In terms of charging, it can actually charge quite quickly. Normally plug-in hybrids are really slow to charge, but this is all right. If you go to a fast charger, you can charge from empty to 80% full in 40 minutes. Then there's the power element. Now, before we talk about that, I just want to point a few things out here under the bonnet. Look, we've got adjustable Öhlins dampers, though you do have to adjust them by hand, which no one will probably ever do. And look, carbon fibre air intake. Lovely. Anyhow, this engine. It's a 2-litre with a supercharger and a turbocharger, and it's mated to an 8-speed automatic gearbox. That drives the front wheels. Driving the back wheels are 2 electric motors, and when you combine the output from the engine and what you can get from the motors, combined you get 609 horsepower and a whopping 1,000 newton meters of torque. This Polestar 1's supposed to do 0 to 60 in 4.2 seconds, but let's see what it can do. Specialist timing gear up here. Let's boost build it. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Oh, the front wheels skip. And again, it's weird. What do we get? Oh, come on, I can't see it. 4.4 seconds. Bit slower than they say, but those front wheels were skipping. Right, let's try it again. Come on. Oh, that's horrid. Oh no, and it was slower. 4.56. Right, I'm going to do it one more time. This time I'm not going to brake boost it and see if it launches better. So here we go. Come on, 3rd time lucky. 3, 2, 1. Oh, still that weird skip then. Got a time, that was better. 4.32. So not quite what Polestar claim, but it is a bit slippery. Though still nowhere near the performance you can actually get for this kind of price point. Seeing as we've got a super coupe with over 600 horsepower, it's 4-wheel drive but with 2 electric motors on the rear axle, so torque vectoring, and it's been developed by the guys at Volvo who know a thing or two about driving on snow, and I have a skid pan covered in snow. This thing should be a right old laugh to drift around. So I'm going to put it into power mode. Yes, sporty driving for the win. And then I'm going to turn the stability control off. Actually, I can't turn it all the way off. I've only got a sports mode. Still should be fine, right? Let's give it a go. Let's skid. Let's get in gear. I have to pull it twice. Right, there we go. Come on then. Oh, this is going to be awesome. It's just killing the power. I'm sliding a bit, but it's sort of just driving around. Let's go again. It's doing a lot of stability controlling. I'm not allowed access to the full 600 horsepower. It's not letting me. I've got maybe 100 horsepower. It is sliding a bit, but the car's doing all the work. I'm not doing anything here. Do you know what this feels like? It feels like I'm in a rowing boat in a slight current, and it's just taking me where he wants to take me, and I'm really not really doing much in terms of controlling it. I want to do massive big donuts and I can't even spin it around. Look, floor it. Come on, come around, come around, come around, come around. No. Oh, it did eventually. Look, my foot is on the floor. My foot is literally on the floor. It won't give me 600 horsepower. I bet this is looking pretty pathetic on the outside, isn't it? I'm bored of this. I'm bored. That's enough hooning around. Let's see what this car is like just for daily driving. So I'm going to go into the drive mode and put it into pure. So now, electric mode only, and it's rear wheel drive. That's what it's like. It's quiet. What's the acceleration like when you've just got electric? I mean, it's actually all right. It's like a normal average car. It doesn't feel like a normal electric car, say like the Polestar 2 in terms of acceleration, because it's trying to shift so much weight. But it's quick enough in electric power alone. It's all right, that. Do you know what else is interesting? Because you haven't got a really big engine up front, you don't have a long bonnet. So even though you sat low and the dash is quite high, you can judge where the corners of the car are quite easily, which is handy when you're driving around town. The turning circle isn't too bad either, so you can manoeuvre it all right. And of course you've got surround view cameras and things like that. It's all right to drive an electric power alone. Maybe it's faster, something like a Renault Zoe, I think. So nippy, but not quick. But then you think, wait a minute, I just paid 140 grand for this. I don't want it to feel like a Renault Zoe. So there you go, all right, and let's just go into hybrid mode and let the whole system figure out what it should do. And then when you put your foot down, it does take off. There's a big wallop of torque when it all hooks up together. The only problem is, it's as though the front drive system with the petrol engine and the rear drive motors are communicating via a Zoom call, because there's some kind of like lag and delay, and occasionally they talk over each other. It's like they can't quite marry up. It's not natural, and there's a bit of a pause when you put your foot down for the engine to fire up and take off, and then there's a moaning, like a dying ox from under the bonnet. You're expecting a Grand Tourer to have some like beautiful soundtrack from a V8. Not here, not at all. In fact, it makes you not really want to put your foot down. That's the problem with it. Another problem with it is the ride quality. So in town, the suspension just seems so firm. It's like bounces and bangs and crashes over bumps. It's as though they haven't fitted springs made out of metal. They've made them out of wood. Sometimes in Grand Tourers, when you go quicker, the suspension like smooths off, but it doesn't ever seem to in this. It's always like bouncing you around. It's not really that comfy. And you know, it's supposed to be a Grand Tourer. I don't feel like I want to go on a Grand Tour in it. I really don't. And in a way, a plug-in hybrid doesn't make sense for a Grand Tourer. Yeah, it's got a decent electric-only range, but really, if you're crossing continents, you'll get through that in a second, and basically, you've got a Grand Tourer with a 2-litre petrol engine. It just doesn't seem right. I think this car is confused, and they sort of got it all wrong. Also with the Grand Tourer, you want it to be quiet when you're just cruising, and I've noticed a weird wind noise from just up there. I don't know if there's a seal these, but it's like around 70 miles an hour. But what is this car like when you're doing your Grand Tour? and you reach a twisty road. Well, I'm going to put it into power mode again for sporty driving. But, well, at least it's got auto brakes. I tried to accelerate into the car in front and it wasn't allowing me to. Yeah, we've got the safety systems, that's good. But once again, there's that kind of miscommunication between the front axle and the rear axle. It just doesn't feel great. It doesn't encourage you to put your foot down. The steering is relatively accurate, but you don't get any feel through it. Brakes are strong though, and they don't have that weird grabby feeling that you sometimes get on plug-in hybrids as they transition from the regenerative effect to charging up the batteries to the actual friction brakes. So that's good, but they need to be good because this is heavy, and you notice how heavy it is in the corners. You really do. It doesn't encourage you to chuck it about. In fact, you don't really want to be hooning through the corners like you might do in something like a Porsche 911 or an Aston Martin DB9 or even a Bentley Continental GT will run rings around this, I think. I don't know what to make of it really. I'm actually very late to drive this car and I've been looking forward to it for so long, and I'm totally underwhelmed. I'm a little bit disappointed actually. In fact, if I'm brutally honest with you, this is one of the most disappointing cars I've driven in a while. It really is. Sorry, Polestar. At least you got the Polestar 2, and that's decent. Do you know what they should have done with this car? They shouldn't have bothered with the Polestar nonsense. They should have just had it as a Volvo equivalent to an Audi A5 and dispense with a hybrid bollocks and just have it front wheel drive to save a load of cash. People would love a cool looking Volvo in this body shape, and without all that electrical gubbins, it'd be reasonably priced. I mean, an Audi A5 is actually pretty decent value, especially if you buy one through carwow. I mean, I'll show you, right? Put a little link just up there, popping out now. If you click on that, you can see how much you can actually save on an Audi A5 through carwow. I'd rather have an A5 than this, to be fair. Am I being mean? Let me know what you think of this car in the comments below, all right? So then, what's my final verdict on the Polestar 1? Should you avoid it? Should you consider it? Should you shortlist it? Or should you just go right ahead and buy it? Well, I reckon you should avoid the Polestar 1. You know, it might work for you if you're a company car driver with tax breaks, but otherwise, there are loads of other better cars at this price point. I hope you'll enjoy the video. If you did, please give it a like. If you click on that video window there, you can watch my review of the Polestar 2. If you click down there, you can watch me drag race some electric cars. And if you click over there, you can get a car wow to see how much money you can save on a new car.